The last test is the easiest of all, yet everybody fails it. Most people think the devil looks like some vile cartoon character, red skinned with horns, cleft hooves, tail, and a pitchfork, but he doesn't. He was covered in every precious stone you could imagine, and as bright as the morning sun. If he appeared in front of you right now, he would look like a luxurious supermodel, an angel of light. Similarly, many people take on the image of hell, which was that of Jonathan Edwards, of fire and brimstone, or of Dante, who describes rungs of torture which descend downward to a frigid and pitch-black block of ice where Satan is trapped with the other betrayers for all eternity, the cold and the dark being a symbol of the absolute distance from the warm and iridescent light of God. But I think the devil has better fashion sense. I think he knows interior design. I don't think hell is made of fire or ice, but of suede and velvet. I don't think it's hot or cold, but perfectly room temperature. I think hell is a couch you sink into, with an endless ottoman for your tired feet and bottomless room service at your beck and call. I think hell looks like a paradise, and that it is a place with people lining up to enter. I think it's a place where you get everything you want. And this, of course, is the test. There are stories. Before beginning his mission, Jesus goes into the wilderness to fast for 40 days, at which point, after he had endured his tribulating, the devil, the deceiver of the world, the father of lies, arrives to tempt him. He taunts his hunger, tells him to turn the stones to bread, challenges his inheritance, tells him to prove who he is by jumping off the temple so that God will rescue him with angels, then finally takes him to the top of the highest mountain and tells Jesus that every kingdom will be his if he would only kneel down and serve him. But Jesus says, man does not live off bread alone. The Lord shall not be tempted, and get away from me, Satan. Shoo, I worship and serve the Lord alone. Another story, the Buddha renounces his eminent kingship and goes to the wilderness. He sits beneath the Bodhi tree to meditate for many days, and there he is tempted by Mara, the evil one, the Lord of illusion. First, Mara sends his 3 beautiful daughters to entice the Buddha, but he sees through it and remains as still as a mountain. Then when desire fails, Mara sends demons, storms, earthquakes, and flaming weapons, but the Buddha does not flinch, and all the missiles become a rain of blossoms, for his heart is stainless and without fear. Finally, Mara tries to make the Buddha doubt himself. He says, who are you to sit here and claim enlightenment? And the Buddha touches his hand to the ground and says, the earth is my witness. I am worthy. This is the devil's playbook, bro. This is what he does when he's up against the very best. So what do you think he'd do to you? You are reading his red zone tendencies right here. The suffering is the easy part. The fasting and the trials, those are the easy part. But people lose it all at the final stage because they mistake the brightness of a false heaven as heaven itself, and they get trapped. Do you know how a snare works? A hunter doesn't scare an animal into a trap. He lures it inside. He gives it exactly what the creature wants. And it's not because he loves the animal, you know. Don't mistake the bait for hors d'oeuvres. A rabbit hops into a box trap thinking it's nothing more than a covered patio with free snacks. It's not. The devil is the lord of free lunches, and anything that is free is not free because it costs you your soul. That's the fine print which nobody, much less he, tells you about. And ain't that kind of ironic? If you read the Bible without knowing anything, you'd probably think that the good guy and bad guy had switched places, that God was the devil and the devil was God. Almost every time God shows up, he's got bad news or rules to give. He's saying, hey buddy, what's about to go down is hard, but I'm calling you to do it anyway. I know you can. Inversely, every time the devil shows up, he's promising free shit. And when that doesn't work, he becomes a tempestuous toddler and he tells you to go jump off the roof. And this is where people get tripped up because they fall for the bait and switch. When is a gift not a gift? They think the devil does favors. They think the dealer giving free drugs out back by the dumpster is doing it out of the kindness of his own heart, not to get more needy customers. They think heaven is a place where they will get everything they want. So when they hear that, they swallow the lie. But to want means to lack. To get everything you want is to be deprived of it all. To want much, to lack everything. Hell is the place where you get everything you want. Heaven is the place where you no longer want at all. In the East, they call it nirvana, the extinguishing of the flame of desire. This land is a land of illusion, Maya Shakti. It's all hot air and smoke up the ass. If the world is promised to you, if it sounds too good to be true, it is. And if you see the barrage of missiles and it sounds too bad to be true, it also is. Fame and fear are both the devil's feet. Vanity, vanity, all vanity. It's all bullshit. Beelzebub, the lord of the flies, the lord of corpses and shit and bugs, hovering around rotting stench. That is the putrid stink of the devil's breath, which he tries so hard to hide from you when he makes those promises. The devil is proud and self-conscious. He is so embarrassed, which is why he embarrasses you. He is death, comfortable, luxurious death. God is painful freedom. God says, I know you. You are worthy. The devil says, who the fuck are you? You ain't shit. This is the lie people fall for because they don't remember that man does not live on bread alone, that the Lord shall not be tempted, that I am worthy, that I am known. Hell is the place where you get everything you want, yet you still feel unknown and unworthy. I know you know what that feels like. This is how I feel after every sin. You want to know what hell is like? Imagine an eternity of that bad come down, that feeling of those 5 seconds after the pleasure of every vice has left you, laying in silk sheets surrounded by empty needles and broken bottles, and hookers dead from overdose, an endless hangover with none of the recollection, a terminal headache, and you can't even remember how you got there. Only then do you realize too late all the love you have forfeited for a piece of bread turned to stone. How's all that bread in your pocket feel now? How's that rock feel in the bottom of your stomach? But you signed the contract, and now you're here forever, forced to fill a bottomless appetite. That's what it feels like to be a rabbit, chomping on a soggy carrot, trapped in a dingy metal cage in the middle of a sunlit garden. After 20 bites, when the door is shut and locked, he thinks to himself, well, I'm not that hungry anymore. I don't even really like carrots that much, but what else is there to do? And he catches a cramp in his jaw before having his neck snapped by the one who fed him. This test is the main line of every heroic story. The hero must prove the purity of his heart. Charlie has to give up the everlasting gobstopper to Willy Wonka to show his honesty. In Ready Player One, Percival refuses to sign Anorak's contract for all of his fortune because he knows that's the mistake which brought Anorak misery in the first place. The devil is a lonely bastard. Of course he's king of the world. He was thrown out of heaven into the world as a punishment. He's all by himself, and he wants you to make the same mistake he did so he doesn't feel so fucking stupid. After the leap of faith, Indiana Jones doesn't get dazzled by all the gold. He realizes the Holy Grail is the cup of a humble carpenter, and he gives up the chalice of immortality to serve his father. The Emperor tells Luke to kill Darth Vader and earn his spot as the Prince of Darkness, but Luke knows he has nothing to prove. Only the devil makes you prove yourself like that. Luke throws his lightsaber away. He says, I'll never join the dark side. You failed, Your Highness. I am a Jedi like my father before me. The Lord shall not be tempted. You don't know me, and you think the Emperor said all those nice things because he loved Luke Skywalker? Be for real. I'll end with this. Odysseus' most difficult peril was not fighting sea monsters, but being doted on by Calypso, the beautiful Titanic concealer. That was his final obstacle. The Odyssey is 10 years, but he spends 7 of them being offered immortality and eternal youth by an Atlantean babe. She tries to make love to him every night, but every morning he stands by the sea crying. He refuses her offer of everything a man could possibly want, and he says, Goddess and all, you're wanting me to stay with you forever, carefree and ageless beside you, but my heart aches for home. Every day I long for it, for the sight of home. If one of the gods wrecks me yet again on the wine-dark sea, I'll endure it, suffering many hardships, for there is nothing more sweet than a man's own country and his parents, even if he lives far away in a rich house, but longing still for home. Hell is a rich house far from home. The devil does not love, he lures. He is lonely, homeless, and full of jealousy. He has many things, but not a single relative. When he offers you whatever you want, it's not as a brother, but as a brothel keeper. Misery loves company. Misery is the devil's business, but he does not know your name. He does not think you are worthy, but he is wrong. You can still come home if you want to.